I am 99%, if not 100% sure that you have an empty notebook, an empty TN, an empty planner, or an empty TN insert somewhere in your house. And I have 20 ideas, actually I have 80 ideas for you to fill those up, so stay tuned. As paper planner addicts, we love stationery. That means if we see a pretty notebook in the store, we're gonna buy it. If we see an insert that we think is cute, we're gonna buy it, which means that we have a stock at home. And as TN users, a lot of us, me included, want to have a chubby TN, which means that we want to fill it up with inserts, and we can't just fill them with inserts that don't have any purpose. So I have 20 ideas for you in this video, and then I have another list, 60 more, a total of 80 different ideas for you to use in your traveler's notebook or in your planner or wherever else. Now, I don't want you to use all 80 or even all 20. These are just ideas. Maybe if there's one that sparks a little bit of inspiration in you, choose that one and have fun with it. This is in no way a video to install any guilt in you for not using any of these. These are just ideas that you can use to fill up any notebooks or inserts that you have and make your TN extra chubby. So like I said, there's 20 ideas in the video, there's 60 more in a list that you can download, and there's a link in the description so you can grab that now or at the end of the video. So let's get into the first 20 ideas. Okay, if you followed me for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of having a dream list. So having an insert in your TN or in a notebook somewhere, having a book dedicated to your dream list is fantastic. So my first suggestion is to have a dream list insert. My next suggestion is to have an insert just for goals. Now this differs from the dream list because it's more specific and it's also in a shorter time period. So your dream list, some of those things are, 5-10 years in the future, but if you have a goal, you're usually working on something that's going to be finished in a relatively shorter amount of time. Number 3, if you're an artist or someone who needs to show their work on a regular basis, then you can have one of the inserts in your TN as a portfolio of your work. So you always have it with you if you need to show it to someone. Number 4 is sort of more personal for me because one of my habits that I want to create in 2019 is writing out morning pages. In her book, The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron suggests writing out 3 pages of the things that are just in your head first thing in the morning to get them out so that you can concentrate and do the more imaginative stuff. Now, 3 pages is a lot and it takes a long time, but if you have 3 pages that are like A5 or even personal, that is a smaller chunk of writing. It's a smaller chunk of time, and for me, it's a lot more doable. So having it in my planner makes it a little less daunting and overwhelming, and it's more likely for me to actually do it every morning. Number 5 is a wish list. The purchases that you want to make in the future. Maybe you don't have the budget for it right now, maybe you don't have the space in your home. Things that you can't purchase right now, or maybe you haven't found the perfect one, but it's something you want to buy in the future. Having it written on a wish list will help you determine if it's a good purchase to make, or if after a couple days you realize that it was just an impulse thing and you don't want to buy it after all. Number 6 is shopping lists. This could be a running list of groceries or the things that you need for your home or your children or yourself, so that when you go to that particular store where they sell those things, you can get all those things on your list instead of just going for one thing at a time. Have a running list so when you're in that area, you can pop in and get everything you need. I like this specifically for the pharmacy because we don't have one close by. So whenever I see that we're running low on paracetamol or something like that, I can write it on the list. So next time I'm close to a pharmacy, I can run in and get the things that I'm getting low on. So last week, I shared with you my goals for KonMariing my studio. There's still stuff behind the computer, but I'm not showing you that today. The next 2, 7 and 8, have to do with KonMariing your space, whether that be a studio like this or your kitchen or your whole entire house or your clothes or whatever. The first idea I had was to have the different categories for your home. So this room has so many different categories that I'm going to have to break them down into specific subcategories. So that would be a good list to have in one of my inserts. The next one is to have sort of a progress journal. You can write down how it felt to get rid of something that was really close to you or sentimental, or maybe how good it felt to get rid of how many bags you did, or maybe it's just a tally of the number of bags that you are getting rid of. It could be a list of who you've donated things to, or maybe ideas of where you can give these things to, just so you can keep a tally on your progress. Number 9 is a craft planner. If you're anything like me, you do other crafts besides paper crafting and planners. So if you have a big project, you can plan that out in a craft planner, or if you have a bunch of projects on the go, you can have those all in that same little planner so that you can keep track of where you are, if you need to buy stuff or what the next step is, keep track of maybe an inventory of the different supplies you have and where in your space they are. If you're a big movie goer or a book reader, you could have an insert where you can put in reviews of the movies that you've seen or books that you've read, or maybe even a television series. If this is something you really enjoy, then it will be really fun to look back in a couple years at your thoughts and opinions on different shows and movies. Now, number 11, I think this is one of my favorites. Have you ever gone to do something and you've looked up how to do it and you figured it out and you've done it, and then you don't have to do it again for maybe 2 or 3 weeks or even a couple months, and then you go back to do it again and you forget how? So this insert could be your how-tos. It's sort of your instruction manual for your life, so that when you go back the next time to do something, you don't have to go back and do all the research and find out how to do it on YouTube. You've got it in your insert and you can do it no problem. Number 12 is a goal tracker. And this is different from a goal list because this is when you finish your goals. This is sort of a celebratory insert. So once you've finished a goal, you can check it off and you can go in and write in what you accomplished, the steps you took, all that fun stuff, so you can actually celebrate your wins. Number 13 is an outfit log or planner. If you have an outfit that you've worn that you like, you can list that in your insert. So next time when you're stuck for something to wear, you can flip through this book and get some ideas. You can also take a little selfie of your outfit and the accessories that you put with it and stick that in as well. That's a lot of fun, so it's a lot easier to flip through and see what you have. Number 14 is a blank book for your calligraphy practice. If you're trying to either improve your handwriting or work on some calligraphy, then you can have a blank notebook where you can practice in every day. If you read nonfiction books like I do, then number 15 is for you. What about a place to put your notes that you take from your nonfiction books? I always read nonfiction books and I go really fast just to get it done, but then I never actually apply any of the stuff that I read. Well, I do sometimes, but not as much as I should. So taking notes and going back over those notes, more importantly, will help you implement all those things that you've learned in those books. Number 16 is a time tracker. If you feel like you're wasting time or you don't have time to do the things that you really want to do, then it's a good idea to sit down and for a week write down everything that you do in the run of a day. Every little tiny thing. Every time you pick up your phone, every time you flip on Netflix, every time you cook, how long it takes you to sweep the floor, all those things, write them down, and then you can see where those little pockets of time are. So having an insert like this in your planner would be a good idea so that you can find those little pockets of time. Number 17 is another favorite of mine. If you go to restaurants, but when you go back, you can't remember the dishes that you had the last time or what was good, or maybe that one wasn't as good as this one, having a log of different restaurants and the dishes that you've tried and the dishes that you like versus the ones that you don't will be a great time saver, and it will also save you from getting a meal that you forgot that you didn't like. Number 18 is kids quotes. If you have children or grandchildren, nieces and nephews, maybe you're a teacher, this is a great place to put down all those golden little nuggets of I don't know what that they come up with. It's really, really funny to look back of the ones that I've done with my older kids now that they're teenagers to see the funny little things that they used to say. Number 19 is a guide to your family's inside jokes and stories. This is more on the memory keeping side. It'll be really fun in 5 or 10 years from now to look back and remember the things that we used to say, because maybe you don't say them anymore, or maybe you forgot the story completely. So it's a really neat memory keeping tool. And last but definitely not least is a washi sampler. Take a blank notebook and just take an inch or so of every washi that you have and put it in a book so that you can easily flip through and see the washis. It'll be easier than if you've got them in different locations or you've got them in a big dish and you're trying to weed through and find the one you want. Maybe you can write down next to the little strip of washi where you have it located in your home, or maybe you want to keep track of the manufacturers, or maybe you have stickers that match it and you want to keep note of that. Plus it's really pretty to look through a book of all these little washi samples. Okay, so that's my list. Don't forget there are 60 more on the list that you can download. All 80 are listed. All you need to do is download the sheet. There's an A5 size and a personal size, so you can fit them in your planner if you like. Let me know in the comments below if you have an empty notebook in your house somewhere. I think it's probably a yes. Tell me in the comments, maybe you don't. Maybe you KonMari'd all your notebooks. And don't forget to subscribe. I've got lots of videos coming up for you. Coming up next, I have 2 videos next week. I have a traveler's notebook set up. Next Monday, I have a tutorial coming on how to make a swag for the front of your planner, so don't miss that. Hit the notification bell once you've subscribed so that you are the first one to know when the video comes out. If you haven't watched it already, I'm going to send you to my traveler's notebooks tips and tricks hacks video. It's got lots of ideas for you to use in your traveler's notebook. Otherwise, give me a big thumbs up if you've made it this far. Have a fantastic day and happy planning.